Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
Sam, you said a few minutes ago that there's not much true crime to dig into here lately, and there's a shortage on it.
We seem to have a drought in true crime.
I beg to differ. We've got a big
how
one.
is there a drought in true crime? It's everywhere, right?
The documentaries, I mean.
He means for him to consume, not for investigators to actually solve.
I thought that was just like an endless genre, though, right?
I
mean,
guess
it depends. It depends on what you want to go into, I guess, because isn't there an entire channel dedicated to the unsolved mysteries that ran on NBC forever and a day? And I mean, I know that's not what you're into.
My grandparents,
but anyway,
used to bless them. They used to watch unsolved mysteries, even the old ones that would run in syndication. Like it was produced 10 years ago, and they'd watch it again.
Yeah,
I'm like, that this. It's probably solved by now.
The thing is,
I'm going to call.
But many of these true crime stories, the outcome. They were in the news first before they were, told. Everybody, as long as you know it, you know the ending. There shouldn't be a spoiler right to something that already happened in the news.
Well, I bring it up because you say this on a day where I got hooked into this story about this mom who vanished without a trace 24 years ago, being found alive.
We're
going to get to that.
I want that documentary.
I know. I feel so horrible for the family, and I have so many thoughts about this. I want to talk about it right now. So this lady was like 38 years old. She left to go Christmas shopping just miles away from her home. Her husband was the first one to report her missing in 2001. And her kids have been looking for her. Her family, investigators have spent time and money looking for her. And the word is, and there's a People magazine article on it now, and slowly stuff is trickling in. Her name is Michelle Lynn Smith. It turns out she just wanted to start a new life. And she did that thing that you see in movies.
Oh, she faked her death, or she just whatever?
Disappeared. She disappeared, and now I'm ready for the answers on that. And the reason it strikes me is this. It sent me back to conversations that I had with some friends of mine when our kids were little, a group of moms. I remember my friend Meredith saying, and I'm like, ditto. She said, if I ever just turn up missing, assume that someone took me, because I will never leave my children.
Yeah, that is what's mind blowing to me about it. That you've got a family and that is like the opposite of the maternal instinct.
It is, and if anybody if you owe an explanation to anybody in this life when you're an adult, it's your children for moves that you make. Yeah, I've had this conversation with another friend of mine, a dear friend of mine who's been divorced a couple of times. Not you, Sam, a girl. And she even said she's learned that you don't owe an explanation to anybody when you change your life. And she said, and then we both took a sip of our margarita, but your children. And yes, your children.
Yeah, you can change. Abandonment is very different than changing your life.
I know.
They're really not synonymous with each other. And I agree with you on the whole. And I know that I'm the dad here, but if I'm ever missing, assume that I'm missing, or assume one of two things. It's either an ADD moment for me, and I'm not. I'm just kind of lost my focus.
They always look at the spouse, actually,
or if we're near Best Buy.
Yeah, right. Probably there.
They probably looked at I don't know yet. Like I said, this is a new breaking story because they were still searching for her, and there was a tip that came through, and she's been found alive. Like the daughter even said, I have a million emotions right now. I'm relieved she's alive. I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yes, you are. This is a lot of therapy in your future.
Do you reconnect and I got my mom back? Or is it like, I want nothing to do with you anymore?
It's not a black and white situation. There's a lot of gray here. Yeah. It's a very confusing thing. But to me, this is the one. She was 38 when she disappeared. It was on it was Christmas time, December 9th.
Of what year?
2001.
Wow. So she's in her
62
now? Yeah.
She's 62 now. So she's been living some life.
Does it go into what the life is now?
No, we don't have that yet. The FBI is going. The FBI is talking to her now.
And she disappeared in a time period where technology is a lot better. It's hard to believe that she was able to live a different life.
That's where the documentary will come in.
Right.
Explaining how she had never left a trail.
Right.
I will say it's the hardest one. The hardest ones for me to watch, though, are when the mom. Those are the ones I've not finished. When the mom is the person who's wacko and hurting anyone, I can't let that in. It's
I know.
harder for me.
Yeah, I understand that.
For some
it's
reason.
the same reason that, anything that would be a dad-related thing would be tough for me and Sam,
Yeah.
But, and I'm really not being a smart aleck here, but, the single biggest true crime story is actually playing out right now in real time, Sam. I don't think that there isn't, an avoid of anything. Nancy Guthrie. It has not been resolved yet, so it's still playing out in real time every single day.
He means something that has a start, a middle, and an end.
No, I know that. Something that you're scrolling through on, Netflix or whatever, to see. But there's no. My point in that is it's really kind of tragic that there is an endless stream of true crime stories.
Of course it is.
And you know what the thing is? I would say, in this case too, you've got mom groups right now, as you know, they're out actually doing their own detective work in the Nancy Guthrie case, trying to help right now.
YouTubers
it's all,
also.
And obviously, the goal. I'm not saying that there needs to be the story on the documentary already. They need to find her first, obviously, but it's playing out in real time in front of us. That's what these documentaries are all based and built upon.
So this one, we're gonna. Once we get more information, we'll update you here because this one is fascinating to me and not in a good way. It's icky. It's wrong. It's weird. You don't do that. You don't do that.
So,
I know many
literally,
people have done it before.
There is nothing else other than
it's new. It's a breaking story.
This was this week.
It's yesterday or 2 days ago that it was first reported. Last seen on December 9th, 2001, law enforcement announced they received a tip about her location February 19th and later met with her in person at an undisclosed location. There's a lot of undisclosed right now. She's requesting that nobody knows where she is right now while she speaks to authorities. The family has been alerted that she's alive and well.
Can she do that, though? Shouldn't they share that information with her family?
The only other thing we don't know her side of the story yet. I still don't like it, but we don't know her side of the story. The only thing that has slipped out is that she had said she left. The only thing that slipped out from investigators is there were some domestic issues.
Oh, okay.
The word domestic issue.
And there's always another side of the story. So yeah, if there was,
sometimes it's that somebody's wrong and cuckoo, or sometimes it's they have reasons that you just don't know, or we'll see.
Yeah.
Another reason that struck me funny is that something else I wanted to say today from the show. I love that you gave a lady a ride from Walmart the other day, Sam, but it's so funny because that part of me, my bells went off in the show today. You explained that you did that. A lady who needed a ride home. She was carrying a bunch of stuff from Walmart, and you offered her a ride.
Yeah. And she's still around.
I love that you did that.
Not just that. It's that you're around. That could have been its own true crime story.
Correct.
Well,
he was last seen helping an elderly woman.
Yeah, I didn't think she would be that much of a threat to me.
Okay.
What? You thought?
Okay. I'm just saying, I love that you shared that story. To me personally, a bell went off and we didn't talk about it in show. I would never, I would think twice before getting into a car with a stranger. I've never gotten into a car with a stranger.
Oh, you mean from the female perspective?
From her perspective.
Oh, yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm glad that she did and you were able to do that, and she offered to pay you and you didn't accept, which is super sweet.
Well, at least that's what I said.
Anyway, I will say the most recent true crime I'm not watching any right now either, but I did watch the Elizabeth Smart documentary. And I will say, I watched it as soon as it was available. The day that it dropped on Netflix, we had work.
Yeah,
we were
I
here,
forgot about that. You didn't, because I haven't.
You were gone, I think. Maybe you were out of town. I watched it from start to finish that afternoon, and I felt, you feel that one. It's hard to watch, but wow, what a brave woman she is to have told her story. And, if I had to know that one, I knew it would be hard, but I followed it when I was a young mother. I had young children, young daughters at that time. So I followed that in disbelief. And for her to have been found, and then the cool thing about the way
she was found alive was that big. At the time, I remember that.
If you go back and watch that, if you're brave enough to watch that documentary, you're going to learn that she saved her own life, actually.
Really?
It wasn't luck that she was found, okay? It's unbelievable, but it's a hard one.
See, there are some that I just do not want to look at.
Sure.
That's one, and also the John Benet Ramsey. I just could not.
Good. I know.
Deal with that. There's one on Netflix that's relatively new, and the synopsis was something about a lady and kids, and it's like, okay, forget it. I'm not into that.
I backed out of that one too.
Yeah.
You know, trust your own gut, be your own guide with what you let into your heart. Again, I am reading that book called Nobody's Girl by Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of the most high-profile victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And she was a wonderful writer, and it's her memoir and it's her story. But I do have to take breaks from it. That's why I'm not finished with it yet, Murphy, because I'll read a chapter and then I need to let a day pass. Because it's what you let into your mind and heart that lives in you. It's good to know these things so that your curiosity, you can connect some dots and try to make sense of this world we live in. And I wanted to understand that from her point of view, because I've heard the Senate committee things, and I've heard about documents released, and I've heard about Epstein and all of this. But I wanted to hear from her point of view, and it is enlightening. It is eye-opening. But again, it's hard. It's a really well-written book. So always be your own guide. If you don't want to watch the Elizabeth Smart thing, don't do it. But it's well made. Here's why. I'll tell you this and we'll wrap. It begins telling you the story as we saw it back then. This family, upscale family, all these kids taken from her home in the middle of the night. What? It goes that, and all these days missing, and then the dad and the way the public reacted to the dad because he seemed a little off, right? They covered all of that. And then in the middle of it, it changed to Elizabeth, present day. Let me tell you what happened that night.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it flips and you get her experience that night, what she was doing, where she was led, what was said to her. It is unbelievable. It's unbelievably well put together if your heart can handle it.
So was she lured? Is that what it is?
She wasn't lured.
I mean, she was forcibly taken?
Yes.
Okay. I just, again, I don't
From
know
her
that
bedroom.
part of it. Yeah, that's all of that. I mean, that part, I guess I would just be curious. The reason I think that we're curious.
Murphy.
No, I know. I understand that. I trust your judgment on that. But it's our protective nature. I'm sure that comes from a little primal instinct that we want to understand what the source of danger is so that we avoid that danger, which is probably the psychological trigger for all the reasons that we love true crime as a genre anyway.
Yeah. That's exactly why I think people get drawn into true crime. And there's always one thing about a story that will pique you. This missing mom who's been found alive, it piques me because there's something here. There's something off here because I'm a mother and I can't understand leaving my children. I cannot understand it. So fill in that blank for me.
Yeah.
Help me understand that, because yes, most moms, all moms, at some point in your motherhood, you want a spa getaway. You want to go away. That's why women are always going away on girlfriend getaways. They don't want anybody to need them for just a couple of days. I don't want the dryer calling my name or a permission slip needing to be signed. You can't, when you're a mom, sometimes you can't even go to the bathroom without knocking on the door.
Most aren't planning to leave for 22 years and then.
Correct. Yeah. So it's just one of those things that piques I know it's going to be a story I'm going to follow.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.